write about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know.
That was the great sounds of Watson with Outside on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven.
Myself, Prestige, with my partner in crime, Long
Amazed, Elm City Made, EZ BlueZ is in the building. EZ BlueZ, you are better introductions more than me. Who do we have thus today on Behind the Brand?
Ladies and gentlemen, for all those who know anything about New Haven and hip hop, I don't gotta say a dang word. I'm telling you right now, if you have not heard this man's name passed around like his namesake, then you have been living under a rock. And that is the reality of it all. We are honored, we are blessed to have this man on the show today. I want you to put your hands together, not if you're driving. If you're driving, you need to keep your hands at 10 and 2 because we don't need no accidents, okay? Mentally, put those hands together for one of the top MCs in New Haven. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Blount is in the building. Welcome, brother.
Yo, listen. The intro was fire, man.
We got you. We're excited. We're excited, man.
Thank you,
It
man.
is, of course. No, thank you. It's been a long time coming. You know, when we first started this show, you were actually in the conversation, one of the first people we wanted to have. And now we are here, and it is an incredible moment, and we are truly blessed to see it. I have been honored to see you perform with for the Little Eazy-E show, and you had by far the best line of the entire night when you said you had all that time to listen to my old catalog. I got nothing but new stuff for you today.
That's
and
it, bro.
it was dope. And I really appreciated the night, and I really appreciated what you brought to the stage. So much honor and respect for the game of hip hop itself.
Thank you.
Now, for those that have been living under that rock, let's talk about your resume. Let's talk about how it started. You know, what was like, hey, I'm gonna go be an MC.
What, man? We going back now. So I have to admit I'm 44. So let's start the night.
Okay.
For the old school MCs. Hey, everybody get a shout out. But what it is, man. Listen, man. I came up, you know, off the Big Daddy Kanes, off the Fresco and Miz's, off the Steady B's, off the Dougie Freshes, off the Slick Ricks. That's my upbringing. And you know, I used to love the music so much, I used to cap it. So I'd memorize all the new raps. I knew everybody's rhymes. And you know, my cousin, I always give shout to my cousin Hightower because you know, everybody has that stair step cousin, whereas like when he gets something, you know, you gotta get it. Like he's the older cousin. Everything he gets, if he got it, you go home and cry to your mother till you get it. So that was my stair step cousin. And musically, everything he got, he was heavy into music. So when he got the boombox, I wanted the boombox. When he got the Casio keyboard, I wanted the Casio keyboard. And every album he got, I wanted the album. So, you know what I mean? That's what got me into music. The first record that I ever went and had my mother purchase me was the Beastie Boys. You know what I mean? That's the first vinyl that I ever had. You know what I mean?
License to Ill?
If that gives a little bit of my history. But like I said, I always memorized everybody's raps. And then once I got to like 12, 13, I started, you know, writing my own. But I never let nobody else hear it till freshman year. Freshman year is where you got me. World got me. People, you know, if I can go back in your memory bank as being an MC, it came out freshman year. Because that's when I wasn't afraid to let nobody hear it.
Well, see, and that's what's really interesting. And again, just give the reminder, we are terrestrial radio, so luckily we have some time to edit and different things like that. But if we can
sorry if I did.
You did twice.
It's
okay. It's okay. We got you. We respect it. I just want to drop that reminder. But
Yes,
but sans that, like what this is. It's so funny because your and my story is actually really, really similar. Because I remember the first record that I had was Licensed to Ill, Beastie Boys, and at a time where for my culture it was, you know, Def Leppard and all this kind of stuff. I never understood it.
Yep.
But when you had like Raising Hell by Run DMC come out, and it come out at the same time, and then Tougher Than Leather drop, you know, and then you have, you know, Ill Communication, you know, drop, or License to Ill drop, it made so much more sense, you know, and here you are, like Ill Communication dropped in second grade for me. You know what I mean? Like, and here we are bumping it through, and this stuff just happened to land on so many different aspects.
Timeless music.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I love the fact that you penned it for 2 years before you took it out, and you started to show people. Now, what made it, and in high school, freshman year of high school, what made it for you? Because it seems to be that for everybody in their story, but I want to know what that person, because usually there's a personal event that makes you want to step out and be Phil Blount.
It was me knowing I was ready. Like I was accidentally, presenting my verses against the verses that I memorized, and I thought I was there. And they had a round table in high school. There was a round table in the lunchroom. All the cool rappers, you sat down. You might have sat down at the beginning of the lunch wave, but you wasn't there at the end of it. And for the cool guys, we wanted to be cool. We wanted to be boneheads. We was in all 3 lunch waves.
Right.
So if you rapped all 3 lunch waves, you was really the man. And that's how it came, man. My first day, actually getting the guts to sit down at that round table in the cafeteria, I didn't get up. I was there to the end. We vibed out. And then I had a dude named Random who was, I was a freshman, he was a junior, and he ran things, as far as rapping. And, that day after school, we walked home together.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm with the god of rap from the school. He tapped into me. This is my first day. You know what I mean? So that's how it went, bro. Like I've never not gotten the job done. You know what I mean? As far as when I stepped out.
Now, from that freshman table, from that round table, to putting on some of the best underground shows New Haven has seen, there are literally stories. I was just speaking with Richard Demko, and your name got brought up about a time that you invited him to a private party in a warehouse, and the place was bumping from jump to jump. You have always given the artists that are on the come up that hand. What set that aside? Because look, this game can be very, very selfish. And it's real easy to be selfish in this game. You've not been that person.
No.
What kind of designed you to not be that way?
Well, there's different. It depends on when you met me. The age I was talking about, that was Phil Blount. That was the beginning. That was Stalkers in the Mist. That was pre No Gimmick. That's when we were battle MCs. That's when I'd freestyle for an hour and you wouldn't hear a thing that was written down on paper. I can't do that no more because I'm not trained to do it. I don't train myself to do it, but that's what we used to do every day. I come from that. So the battle MC, that was our name, my crew, Stalkers in the Mist. Listen to the name, Stalkers in the Mist. We walked around the city and just battled whoever. We used to drink 40 ounces and run around and battle whoever. You know what I mean? Right. That's what I come from. So, and now as far as me tapping into other artists and showing, that I'm not selfish, that came more or less my second half. My second half is like when, I'm getting a little older. My mind is maturing. I figured I didn't want to work for nobody no more. So let me try my hand at working for myself. So I opened up a recording studio. And I just had a chance to give what I had gotten, like what I had learned or the talents that I was given naturally, I was learning to help other people with. So I've been working behind the scenes with so many different artists, whether they popped or not, just to see an artist come in front of me, a 6 and leave out with an 8 record, was great for me. You know what I mean? Just to see that every artist I dealt with left with a better product than they actually thought that they can create on their own. You know what I mean? Just with my little inputs or whatever it may be. But that was me on the second half doing shows. And it's like, everybody doesn't get no record deal. So me being a realist allowed me to say, okay, well, how can I, if you listen to my song Biggie's Pen, I said, I made this music, pay me. I didn't get paid, like a lot of dudes that they idolize got paid. I got paid because I opened up a recording studio. Music paid me the last 11 years. You know what I mean? I've been involved with my city's craft, the crafting of my city for the last 10, 11 years. Heavily involved. You know what I mean? And that's without spitting a verse. That's just behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So that's the side that person that you spoke to met me on. You know what I mean? So it's different facets of me. It just depends on what part of my life you met me on, and you'll place me in that mindset. You know what I mean? You'll get, you'll think of me that way.
Hey, Phil.
Well,
Sorry, Izzy.
No, I was just gonna give you your flowers for that, man, because
Yeah.
look, this is the time to paint the story any way you want to paint the story. And the fact that you're honest about it shows
Yeah.
really, really who you are as a human being and the depth of your character. So I just
yeah.
wanted to highlight that. But go ahead, Pete.
Thank you.
Since you're a hardworking man, you have a great work ethic. How happy are you to see just today of New Haven, just with all the hip hop and all the plethora of artists who are putting in today?
I love it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I said, I'm probably the hardest on myself.
Mhm.
I know what I was up against. I know what I dealt with mentally, and I know what people
Mhm.
saw. They thought I probably could do. You know what I mean? Everybody has that perception of what they think you can do.
Mhm.
I love Connecticut music. I always have. I love where the artists have come. Like right now, I'm the happiest I've ever been with the music that Connecticut creates.
That's awesome.
Now, like I'm the happiest with my state, music wise. Now, business wise, I'm not happy with myself or them. No, none of us have made it where we want to be yet. Nobody has that surface, so it's hard to be happy about that. You know what I mean? But we can't blame it on anything until we learn how to get over it. So until we learn how to do the right business to get us to the right places, your anger can't be directed. You know, you don't know exactly what it's directed at. You know, you got to understand streaming. You got to understand this, that, and the third. It's a lot to understand. So before you can get mad at it, you can't get mad at something you don't understand.
That's true.
So I'm learning to understand the music industry a little bit more.
That is definitely true. I mean, there's a lot of heads around it, and there's a lot of I's that have to be dotted and T's that have to be crossed as well, too.
Exactly. You know, and to say that no Connecticut artist has made it to a point where we can solidly be happy as a state, you know, that says a lot about our business. So we need to step up our business. You know, maybe it might be camaraderie. We might have to camaraderie a little bit more to get it done. But it's definitely the business. It's not the artistry, because we have that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That cannot be debated at all, because just the plethora and just the content that we've been seeing is just incredible. It's just incredible, especially with the young kids, man. The young kids have been coming up with a lot of great music. I definitely think I can agree with that.
I agree.
Definitely, man. Easy. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's so true, because it is that business aspect. And we talk about it on the show all the time. You know, we are kind of cursed by sitting in between two major markets. We sit between the New York market, and we sit between the Boston market, and not the one you get the chicken from, you know. So, you know, you're sitting in between these two markets, and we are almost forgotten about, you know, and some of those acts that have picked up and have grown, you know, don't necessarily get the Connecticut seal of approval. You know, I'm told every day, you know, oh, it's great that you're playing and you're doing okay, decent wise shows out here. But the way you need to do it is you need to get outside your state first, and then maybe your state will pay attention to you. And that's the mindset that needs to change, in my humble opinion.
So let me tell you what we haven't done. We haven't made self-pride cool in Connecticut. A lot of others have made self-pride cool. And that's the last thing we've done. We haven't done that yet. I think once Connecticut, because if we can be, you know, the third smallest state, right? Well, the third richest state, but one of the smallest, right? That we have potential. But we're saying we can only do that financially. So only financially can we become as big as these other states. We can't do it musically. That's sad. You know, Subway is one of the biggest sub companies on a planet, and they started in Connecticut.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like it's like we have to create a temperament or a climate where, you know, it's not cool to be a fan that's not pro Connecticut. You suck. You suck. If you're a fan in Connecticut and you're not pro Connecticut first, you suck. You shouldn't. You should be frowned upon. You should feel like a piece of trash by not having that Connecticut pride, by not having the same pride that New Yorkers have. Like, I don't wear a hat with New York on it, not because I hate New York, but because if CT is not going to represent a hat with us on it first, like, how do you represent so many different states and, you know what I mean, factions? It's like you don't represent yours. We represent everything first outside of ourselves. So I'm just one that refuses. You know what I mean? But I think even as much as we got to get our business together, we have to teach our fans how to be fans. You know what I mean? They don't know how to be fans. And a lot of times it's because we don't give them the right tools to be fans. If you're only giving them a view, or if they gotta sit on your page all day and feel like you'll be mad if they're not on your Facebook page all day, that's not it.
No.
You got to have other areas where they can represent you, and it only takes 2 seconds and 3 seconds to know their whole day to represent you. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's work we got to do, bro. It's definitely work we got to do.
That actually tells a lot, because a lot of people will say that they're from Connecticut, but when they reach outside of the state, like for example, like I've been like outside to Georgia, or even Tennessee, and the people just look at me like, oh, you must be rich that you're from Connecticut. Like they don't really know too much about the state. Not too many people, when they go outside of these walls, take pride of where they're from and in their hometown. That's a really good mindset. Actually, that's a great thing to say, because no one ever really takes outside of that spectrum that I'm from Connecticut and that proud mentality. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of culture with inside New Haven that you can be proud of.
Well, I got tired of people saying it's hatred, and that was me. That was me at one point. The haters. But the reality of it is, man, haters get you paid nowadays. So you obviously ain't got that much hate than many haters neither. So we got to get it together, and it's like, we got to call a spade and call what it is. And, in the areas that we need to step it up, we just need to step it up.
Right.
Now, with all the opportunity.
Just to compound on that real quick.
Yeah.
It's the algorithm aspect. When you're dealing with social media, those haters that jump on your page just to hate on it all the time, they're bringing traffic to your page. They are increasing traffic to the algorithm, and that is what's getting you to more spots. Cat Williams said it the best. If you don't have anyone to hate on, feel free to hate on me. I'll pick up a couple extra haters, because that is what's going to drive the algorithm. And there are some people out there that just spew hatred, and some people will like your stuff just because that other person hates it. So, there's ways to capitalize.
You're right. And we got to figure that out, man. We got to figure that out. So I don't put the total blame on Connecticut not running rap on those single artists. You know what I mean? I blame it on us in unison.
Yeah.
So even you put yourself to fall a little bit as well too.
I put myself to fall as well, if not more than a lot of other people. And then it's like, you'll see a lot of artists get online. I used to be that artist, man. Get up there, screw Hot 93.7, this, that, and the third.
Right.
It's still screwing with me. But my thing is that I don't really care as much no more. In a world where you might not need them as much, it showcases that you're not doing exactly what needs to be done. We all know that's business, and business is business. You know what I mean? So that's a world, bro. You're not walking into McDonald's and saying, how come, I'm not being sponsored by McDonald's? That's the same thing you got to say when you're dealing with these radio stations, man. You got to look at them as businesses. And if you're not already creating a wave, they really don't want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? You got too many Drakes. Nicki Minaj, is only 18 jams in a row. We say that. Now I can name 18 artists that I know I don't have nowhere near as much money, presence, and this, that, and third, and it's going to be a fight. And they can outdo me financially in my own state. Yes, they can. I don't care how big I think I am here, how much. So until we teach the fans how to be fans, and our fans say, no, we don't want that. I don't care how big it is. We want this until this is that big. Then you don't create the waves within your state, because those guys did it within their state. And if they didn't do it within their state, they went to a state that shot it right back to their state, to where their state had to step up. So if anything, go outside of Connecticut, man. If you're looking for a fan base outside of Connecticut, leave Connecticut. Don't sit in Connecticut. Look for a fan base outside of Connecticut. Because you can barely get one here.
That's key. Yeah. No, that's 100% key, because that's what makes the most amount of sense. And all of it is so important. And I love that you kind of like brushed on the topic. I've had conversations with a whole bunch of different artists that are coming up. They've released their singles and they're doing great in a small scale, but then they don't realize how much money it takes to get behind the project, to get all the marketing aspects in it, because they're still living that MTV Cribs dream that you just got to do this and you get that record contract and it's good to go. that's a lie. Because
Connecticut
even if you
artists-
have that contract, that is money that's going back to the record company. All the money they lay out for that marketing, you're paying them back.
Yeah. You're right. They want every dollar back. I mean, you know, it you have to decipher as an artist what you want to do. Do you love it? Do you want to be, you know, do you want to be signed to a label? Do you want to be independent? Like, you got a bunch of dudes running around screaming independent, and their whole promotion strategy is to get a label to find them. In my mind, it's waiting for somebody to take you to the moon. That's not independence. Independence is not waiting for somebody to take you to the moon. Independence is doing what you want to do on your comfort level and getting it done. You know what I mean? As much as you can, and you allowing, you know, whoever feels for you to jump on your train. You know, you create that train, you get it running. If they hop on, they hop on. If they don't, they don't. But you're keeping it moving without them, regardless of what. You know what I mean? And that's what I am right now. You know, I understand I have some age to me. I understand that the industry looks for guys. I mean, the industry does, okay. The guy at the label that signs you, young boys, youngins, he doesn't listen to your music. He only listens to it enough to tell you whether he can sign you or not. You're not his favorite artist. Why? Because he's my age. I'm his favorite artist, or somebody of the like. So with that being said, youth doesn't control the industry. Youth is just the most blinded by it. And we can get the money off of the youth. You know, doesn't have no say so. When I say do this, you jump. When you say how high. The youth doesn't fight back. The youth doesn't read the contracts. They don't want me. They know a me might make music that appeals to a broader, you know, audience, but they can make more money off of you being dumb. And it's not even to disrespect you, youngins. It's what is the word? Is it naive? What is it when you don't know? It's a word.
Naivete. It's a naivete.
You're just naive to a situation. Being naive makes a lot of people money, and that's why they go towards youth. So, you know what I mean? You can kill the facades about y'all being that hot. You're not that hot. You know what I mean? You actually don't say much.
We're going towards truth on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City Made. We got the great Phil Blount with us. I hope I didn't lose your train of thought, man. Continue to what we're about to say, because I was learning so much. Go right ahead.
No, I can go on for days, bro. You know what I mean? I love it. I'm a lifelong student of hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm forever love it. I'm going to make music forever. I've created my life deal or no deal. I always have a recording studio. I'll always record, and I always put out music when I feel like putting out music. That's just what it is for me. Here to take it further, damn right. I got the music to prove it. I got the live show to prove it. But I will not, you know, let my kids create. I got kids, mothers. I got two. And when they call, I got to be prepared.
Of course.
And I'm not I don't want to be a rapper that bad to where I can miss a day of being prepared for those phone calls. You know, starving artists don't appeal to me. And if it takes me to be a starving artist for a day to be a rapper, I won't do it.
You've done so much just with your musical career. I just want to point out a couple facts that really just interest me just about you, Phil. You went to colleges with a whole group of independent artists, and you also went to Toad's place, and you sold out the place just by your name.
No, let me clear that up.
Clear it? No. This is why we're here. Go right ahead. This is why we're here.
Did not sell it out. Old Dirty Bastard sold the night out.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I was reading a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually been his last show in Connecticut before he passed away.
Oh man,
he was booked to perform at Toad's, and he never came. So he had a show, and he never showed up. So they saw Phil Blount for 30, 45 minutes, and nobody pressed to get their money back. Now that's one of my highlights right there.
That says something.
Yeah,
that says something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because for those who don't know, I have been to hip hop shows at Toad's, and the local headliner has been booed off the stage because they want to see the people that they paid to see. So the fact that you did 35, 40 minutes and no one was like, yo, I want my money back. That's huge.
Nobody.
Huge, man. Huge.
And they didn't get to see the headliner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now that was big. But yeah, I had to clear that up, bro. No lies on
No,
no lies.
no. Of course. Now, you gotta do that. You definitely gotta do that. But
They got to tell it right.
nah, of course. But I
But
know.
you can ask me anything, man. You can ask me anything.
Yeah, but I know there was a college that you guys went to. I think it was you, and it was you can correct me if I'm wrong again, Phil. I believe it's with No Gimmick Music Coalition that you guys went up there. I think it was like the Western or Central, and it was.
We did the No Gimmick Music Festival.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a
now
real
see
good
that
turnout.
that right there. Okay, so this is why I said, like, you know, it depends on when I did what. Now that wasn't created by Phil Blount, the artist. That was created by, you know, Damien. That was the business side. Me and my partner Chuck creating that wave for Connecticut and putting together the No Gimmick Music Festival.
Okay.
And you know, that's one of my biggest events to date. You know, I had a spot that held. Listen, man, I had the whole Danbury police force out there, and it was all paid for.
Wow.
The college paid for everything, man. You know what I mean? So we talked our way into a great situation. We laid out a festival that we had planned for No Gimmick, and the college bankrolled it and let us keep our name. You know what I mean? That was big for us. That was pretty big. You know what I mean? Fred the Godson headlined that night.
That'd be a great energy too that night.
That was dope. That was dope. That was big for me because, you know, we got it done. You know, we had a space that was just outside vendors, outside event. It was completely paid for. Every artist that performed, we had a spot in the back indoor with fully catered. You know what I mean? For all the performers. Like, it was great, man. You felt like an artist. You know what I mean? And that's what I try to bring to my showcases. Like, even, you know, not to bounce around too much, but even the showcases that we put together, like, as far as No Gimmick, you can't contact me to get put on my shows. We call you. And that's just it. And they think I'm doing that to be bougie. It's not. It's because I want you to feel like you're the when I call you and tell you I've been checking your music and I want you to perform. It feels so much better than you calling me feeling like you begging for a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why we do everything different, man. We do everything with the artist in mind first because I'm an artist.
And it brings value to the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really
so like I said, that was the business side of me that put that together. That wasn't Phil Blount, the rapper.
Fair enough. Tell me about the rap tournaments.
Okay, so my partner, Executive Chuck, he came up with an idea called Barfest. And you know, we believe in each other. It is what it is.
That's good.
He said Barfest. We came up with some ideas and put it together to where, you know, a tournament style, like, you know, like if you watch basketball, the little tournament style situation. I think we had about 10, 15 artists come in. They rap to random beats. They got to catch the beat. They don't know what they're gonna rap to.
Yeah.
And somebody won a nice little piece of money at the end of the night. You know, got the bragging rights, and we really put it down. And it went well. We tried to do it again, but you know, sometimes it's all about timing. I say, because, you know, it didn't work. And one thing about me, when I feel like something's not going to work, we scrapping it. We're not going to sit there and waste a bunch of money on something that we don't think is a go. It's easier to just kill it and go with something else. So we sat on it. And then we always had another idea called Song Fest. You know, we did Bar Fest. We wanted to do Song Fest and Beat Fest. And Song Fest was more for artists that were like me at the time, where, you know, you put on a random beat, I might not catch it. But as a songwriter competition where I get to go in my bag, because right now I'm more songwriter. Now, if you would have caught me 20 years ago and throw on any beat, I can catch any rhyme, I would have been a Bar Fest contestant. But right now I'm a Song Fest. I'm more of a Song Fest guy. So I wanted to create something more that I would actually hop in myself as an artist. And Song Fest was it. So now we just did Song Fest and everything went crazy, man. It went crazy. I had all the artists booked and paid to be involved within 48 hours. And that was from me just calling people. I didn't have to put up a post. You know, and it cost $100 just to get involved. You know, dudes don't want to spend no money. So if I tell
you, not at all.
It's like almost everybody I called, they jumped in it. You know what I mean? And the way we did Song Fest was we did one beat, 10 different artists. everybody writes a song to one beat. So we had, everybody has the same playing field. We felt that's how we wanted it to be. So everybody recorded over the same beat. The winner, he won 1,500 cash.
Wow.
He also won the beat. The beat that I paid for exclusive rights. So the beat's his. Nobody else will ever rap on that beat again. It was also a Connecticut producer that we highlighted, Jay Random. We had 3 Connecticut judges that had no affiliations with none of the artists. So, we did it, man. We pulled it off.
That's awesome. That's great for the city too, man.
Yep.
Yeah, no, but for the listener at home that doesn't quite understand the difference between, Bar Fest and Song Fest, can you explain just a little bit the difference of what the songwriting aspect is? Because there's a lot of people who have no clue what's going on right now.
Well, for Bar Fest, it's random beats. We throw on random beats, and you got to rhyme for a certain amount of time. And you win your rounds according. For Song Fest, it's one beat. All 10 acts record over the same production, so you have the same template. And I just told my judges, man, you got $2 million of my money, and you got to sign the hottest act, performance wise, record wise, and everything. And so which one of these 10 artists did this? And this is the beat we want. So which one of these artists is the one that you want to bet your bag on? And that's what we told them. And it was great. It was a great show, man. It was a great show.
That's awesome. Now, when is Beat Fest gonna happen?
Beat Fest, it wasn't no guarantee on us doing it, when we were gonna do it. We just find the best time.
Right.
A friend of mine has a beat situation going on, DJ Prime. I was always willing to, get in contact with DJ Prime and make Beat Fest a little bit bigger. Because I one thing about me, if I know somebody that's doing something, I like to make that bigger as opposed to making myself competition. I always thought that was sucker stuff, especially when it's dudes that you be around all the time, you talk to them. Why would I put myself up there as, direct competition? So I like to go at dudes that's already doing what I'm thinking of and get with them and make it bigger. So we still thinking about that. Listen, like I said, I'm not a producer. I'm not a beat maker. So when I do it, I want those guys around. I want those guys to champion what I'm doing. So, you know what I mean? When I do it, it's going to be at the right time.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. Definitely.
And that's when I first saw Phil Blount. It was at a beat showcase. I believe Crime brought me into the beat showcase. That's when I saw a lot of heads that I was gonna see regularly in my lifetime. I saw Mega Hood, I saw Phil Blount, I saw Rocky, I saw Beyond Excellence. I saw a lot of great artists. So when I met first June Jizzle for the first time, was at a beat showcase. That was when and then Phil, I don't know if you remember it, but it was like an auction. It was like an auction, but it was like also a networking event too. It was in West Haven. It was like right near public storage. Then everybody was just, came together, played their beats, and it was like a good 10 minutes of just all their art forms. And then everybody was just jumping up and just like pointing up the prices and stuff. And people were just debating and finding. It was just a feel-good event. It was a feel-good event.
Now I'm gonna tell you my highlight of that.
Yeah.
You never know what somebody else is feeling, or something that you might have done 1,000 times might not mean nothing to you, but for somebody that might have been there first. And that was a highlight. That was a highlight for me because June Jizzle ended up telling me a couple of years later that I was the first person to ever purchase a beat from him, and I didn't know that. And I bought that night. I bought the beat that I heard from him.
Yeah,
I bought that beat in cash. I paid for it, and I didn't know, but that was one of his highlights because that made him go say, "I want to do this for real." Like somebody's purchasing, and I didn't know that I was the guy. You know what I mean? So shout to June Jizzle, man.
Yeah, purchasing in cash. Yeah, shout out to him. He's doing well on TikTok. And just like
you see him, right?
Yeah, see him. Like somebody who's actually with CT Pride bringing that out there is him.
Yeah, it all started with black and white. Crazy.
Yeah,
it started with black and white pics. June was taking black and white photos at first.
I remember.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like I get to see all that. Being in my seat, I get to see all that, and I get to see dudes grow.
Yeah.
I'm not penalizing my state and dudes in my city for not becoming the Jay-Z's. I'm watching where they went and the growth in between because, you know, Jay-Z might have made it there because of who he know, not because of the talent he had. So if I knock these guys, I'm watching these talents, man. These dudes are talented. There's a lot of talent out here, man. You know what I mean? I get to watch these dudes growing. And just to be a part of that is like, you know, it makes me smile, man. You know what I mean?
No, definitely. And it's so interesting too, because, you know, I am a transplant from out here. I've been out here almost 10 years now. And your name has always been one that has been brought into any type of conversation. So when I finally had that moment at the State House to fully like meet you and introduce you and get introduced to you so that I knew that business could grow from there, I understood, you know, and there's sometimes I don't pour salt in anyone else's hustle, but I have been to certain shows and there have been people who have been talked up a whole heck of a lot and they're just not there. And it could have been an awesome performance, you know, it happens. I'm not knocking them, but man, you jumped up there, no matter whether there was 300 people in that venue or only 19 people in that venue, you slayed that night. And not only did you slay that night, you made sure that that headliner knew whose stage he was borrowing.
Yes, sir.
And that's and that is the reality of it. So thank you for that.
Thank you, bro. And I appreciate y'all for having me, man. Listen, this is what I do. You know what I mean? This ain't no time limit on it. Like I tell these guys, man, this music is not playing basketball. My legs don't go bad. As long as I got a voice box. And DMC from Run DMC showed you that. He lost his voice box and still got a career. So what I'm saying is, as long as my mind is focused, I can always come up with something crafty to say, man. You know what I mean? This is what I do and I love it. So as long as you see that happiness coming through and not to bounce around too much again, but that's when I don't do music. If you ever see me not making music, it's because I want you to hear me having fun. Right. If you can't hear me enjoying it, I can put together a project themed around straight death, but you're gonna feel like I enjoyed making the music. I don't care what it is. If I don't enjoy making it, I'm not making it. So, you know, that's what it is with me, man. So I'm just happy to be in a space right now where everything's fun, because for a minute it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's something I tell people all the time, man. You have to have fun with it. It's called playing music for a reason. You're supposed to play. You're supposed to
exactly.
Fun. And the minute that fun stops, you know, you got to jump out of it because you got to go find that again. You got to go, you know, find that Peter Pan, find that happy thought, and fly. You know, and that's what it's down to, bro. So I appreciate it.
No lies.
No lies on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime with the Sing Penguin hat, Mr. EZ Blues is in the building. We got a New Haven icon with us. Phil Blount is with us on Behind the Brand. What is Biggie's pen? Tell me that.
Biggie's pen, crazy, right?
Yep.
Biggie's pen started from a line.
Okay.
It was just a line, man. It was a line, but my marketing sense said, I've never heard that line before. It's like, I got to make that bigger. Nobody toted Biggie's pen. So I said something about the sacrifice got me out here rapping like I got Biggie's pen. And then I said to myself, well, this needs to be the title of the album. Yep. You know what I mean? And then the actual song that I said that in, I just titled that Biggie's pen. And it all came to fruit, bro. It all came to fruit. Then it was another thing. It was about, I heard Little C's had an interview where he actually said Biggie wrote. And I always said this, all that Jay-Z and Big don't write, that's a lie. Like you can't tell me that, because the things that people told me that they did, I used to do. Like everybody that was around me in my youth can tell you about 30 songs that they've never seen written down. They can tell you about rhymes that I created on a walk from, let's say, Congress Avenue to Whaley. Wow. And I can memorize a whole 16-bar piece within that span, just going back over and over. I might have spit it 1,000 times within that walk, but that's writing. To me, that's the same thing as having a pen out. So, you know, I never gave dudes credit when they say they didn't rap. They didn't write, because the only person that gets credit for not writing is a freestyler that only says one thing one time and never says it again. If you're saying it over 20 times, you wrote it. You know, your mind is that. You don't get a pad without having a mind. Your mind is the pad. That's the same thing. You just, you know, it's a physical form of your mind. you're writing down what you're thinking. But if you had an ill memory and remembered everything, you would never need a pad and pen. You would just write in your head. You know what I'm saying? So I never gave dudes points for that, but I used to do that, bro. That was me. You know what I mean? So when I heard C say that Big wrote and like, nah, Big used to be in there with it, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was different when he went around other artists.
Mm-hmm.
He showed you elite. He showed you elite being, that means, he had rhymes to go to different cadences. Whatever that beat came on, he had something to cater to.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that meant. Or he had vibes. But come on, man. Freestyling, that means he said it one time only. You never heard it again, bro. You know what I mean? So that was another thing with Biggie's pen, just to establish, man, the writing. So if you look at the album cover, you see the Statue of Liberty, Coogee sweater with the pen and with the pen in hand. You know what I mean?
I love the artwork.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Because I told the dude the title of the album, and this dude from Atlanta, I forget his name because me and him ended up having a hard way to go. I probably won't spend no more money with him again, but
right.
He came up with that idea. It was crazy. I damn near kissed my screen. When I saw that cover, when he sent it to me, I almost kissed the screen. I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like he caught this, and he's not from the East, he's from Atlanta. So an Atlanta graphic designer caught that element. And Big's been gone 20-something years and nobody has ever caught that element right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Nobody
Put the Coogee sweater on the Statue of Liberty.
Nah.
Nope.
It took a Connecticut dude to do it, man. Like nobody ever. And that was another thing marketing wise. It was like, when I put this project out, you're going to get a lot of, he got the gall. He got the gall. He has the gall, Biggie's pen. And I knew that the music would back it up. So, for all those reasons, that's why that album became Biggie's pen.
Nah, you just gotta believe in yourself, and if you got the right motives and the right words for it, go for it. Go for it.
Bar-wise is not, man. Bar-wise is not a problem, man. Listen, man, these dudes can't touch me, man. These dudes can't touch me. It's just like at the end of the day, I'm having fun, man. And I'm trying to be the civil servant, man. You know what I mean? So, I get on my Facebook page and I talk my little talk, man. But when it comes to the work, I'm for everybody. Yeah. My Facebook page ain't for everybody, though. I'm the best rapper in the world. Don't expect to hear me say nothing else on my Facebook page. So you can get mad all day if I'm on my story telling you how much nicer than you I am. Keep getting mad. But just know the next thing I'm going to share is probably going to be another Connecticut artist because that's me.
That's the attitude to have.
And for those people that are just getting mad, go home, work on your pen, and prove. I say it like I can't stand when people just get upset about that. If you're really that upset, don't get in your feelings. Get in the studio. Prove me wrong.
Man, I told the state of Connecticut, signed to unsigned. That was my promo for dropping Biggie's pen. I'm not the biggest artist, but in Connecticut, I got a little stature. So I just put a post up, man. 20 racks. I got the best album, and this was of last year. I bet. I don't care if you Chris Webby. I don't care if you Annoyed. I don't care who you are. I got the best product out. So I hands down dropped the best album of last year, and that's because ain't nobody I mean, the proof is in the pudding, man. The album is out there, and actually, I'm kind of disappointed because I actually have the best album of this year, and I want somebody to top what I've done because I'm a listener, bro. I'm not too much on my own horn where I can't say that project and that body of work is better than mine. I ran last year and my album's still running this year. And that's, listen, man, I'm 44. You youngins better step it up because I'm on my job.
Mm-hmm. Phil Blount, I love your energy.
Come on, man.
I love the fact that you're fact checking me too. And I want you to fact check me again. And this is what I'm about to say.
Yes, sir.
How many albums did you put out in a year? Was it 2 or was it 3 back to back?
4.
4?
4 and 4 months.
I remember that. I remember when I was back on the radio and you were talking to Joe about that 4 albums in a year because you were just driven. You just felt like you just had to go. Yeah.
Weight Gain, Hustle Right 2,
and
Smart Thug Motivation 101.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
and they all go together. It's Weight Gain. So I'm getting my weight up. It's hustle right. I'm hustling right. I'm staying on that. It's hustle right too. I'm still on it. And then it was Smart Thug Motivation 101. It was like, that was like to me, it was a flip on the Jeezy album. Because Jeezy was Thug Motivation 101. But one thing I can always say about Connecticut dudes, we're smart thugs. We pronounce the ERs in our words. You feel what I'm saying? But you die the same. You know what I mean? So it don't change much. It's just that we smart thugs. So it was Smart Thug Motivation for me. I just put a flip on that. That's all that was. You know what I mean? Hustle right is my alter ego. So, Smart Thug Motivation 101, weight gain, hustle right. It all marries.
Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna get another 20 years of music from you.
Oh yeah.
I have 30 in my computer.
Oh God.
Bruh. Bro,
you talking albums or songs, Phil?
Albums. You gotta hear the albums. I don't, bro. You gotta hear the albums I scrap. Like my friends, like it's an ongoing joke with dudes that know me personally,
right? Because
they know about all the music that you guys don't get to hear. Like I scrap so many albums in total, like whole albums, bro. Scrap them. Like I'm sitting on. I've recorded more music since January, than I have. I recorded more music since January of last year.
Oh my goodness!
Than I did in the last 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Look, that's
you know what I mean.
Prince literally has a vault.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that. Thank you.
Unreleased records. His estate could release things for the next 70 years, and you're not going to hear the same note played twice.
Yeah. I got music, man. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and just I have a lot of ideas recorded. Like I'll record exactly what I'm thinking, even if I don't get to it for another 2 years. Biggie's pen had a 6-year-old album on the record. Biggie's pen dropped 7 months ago. I had a 6-year-old record up there. Now it's about 7 years now.
Oh man!
And can nobody tell the difference? Nobody can, bro. I have so much
music. Yeah. It's all about quality.
Whatever I was saying on it still fit. It was still relevant. You know what I mean? And I snuck it up there. And like I said, man, you'll be surprised, bro. I have so much music in my catalog, man, and I don't put out so much music that it's like, that's the thing for me. I just don't want, God forbid something happen. I just want the music to be like, it's so much, man. Like, it's just so much music, man. It's crazy. So that's what it is for me. It's just like, damn, Blount, get somewhere so you can get all this unreleased stuff out, man, while you still alive, man. Bro, I got so much stuff, man. Anything that you've ever heard from me with any vocals on it, 99% of the time I wrote it. Dudes don't know that. I write R&B. So I love music. All around the board, man. Yeah. If I've ever had any singing on my records, I wrote what they said. You see that? See how that changes everything? See?
That's a 180 right there. That's a complete 180 right there. Unfortunately, we only have about like a minute of time of this broadcast, Phil. I'd love to give you on again because I'm learning so much, and I feel like
anytime, bro.
There's so many layers within this cake. We only just reached about 2 or 3 layers because your career is just massive and just so many stories that we haven't heard on air.
Yes, sir.
So many
I got the
stories
history, man. Listen, man. You can't even get through New Haven without getting through me, man. I dealt with them all, man. All the greats, all the legends, the Tiger Coronas, the Coke Cavs. Those are my brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got angels. My angels are the key to the cities. You know what I mean? My angels, like these are my angels. These are dudes that when they were alive, my brother, you had to see us work. Right. You know what I mean? So I'm doing it for a lot of reasons, man. You know what I mean? Shout to Ty Henny too.
Absolutely.
Shout to Bragging Rights too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Bragging Rights is my guy. Shout to Kim Cashier. Shout to my niece, Lady Blount. You know what I mean? I love you guys for having me, man. Easy Blues, I appreciate you for having me, man.
Got you, brother.
Anytime y'all need me back, say the word.
Just one thing, just before we go. Phil Blount, we always want to give a little bit of time. Just give out your social media, where to find you and everything, just across the board on the internet. And also anything you got coming up. Go right ahead.
YouTube, The Real Phil Blount. Blount, B-L-O-U-N-T. B-L-O-U-N-T again. That's The Real Phil Blount. Instagram, Phil Blount 1. Facebook, I'm Phil Blount. Everywhere else, I'm Phil Blount 1. If you put in Google Phil Blount, you're gonna find me, man. I'm the only one. Just make sure you put B-L-O-U-N-T, and you're gonna get the right one. As far as shows, this weekend, Saturday, I'm in Hartford at the Marriott. We doing the Wealth Weekend. It's a Connecticut millionaire with a couple New York millionaires. Self-made, retired at 35. The guy from New York was homeless at one point. They come to tell their story. So it's Wealth and Music. The 30th of June, I have another show that's yet to be, the location is yet to be put out. I'm in Berlin, Connecticut in July. I got a bunch of shows lined up, man. So I'm definitely working. I appreciate everybody tapping in. You know what I mean? Because if they seeing me live, they definitely paying for me. So I appreciate it.
Definitely, we appreciate you. Prestige. EZ Blues. Phil Blount on Behind the Brand on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, New Haven.
They callin' foul on the play. It's wild where I stay. Bullets get to flying and police is giving chase. Jack Boy starving, got no time to say a grace. That's cause you had the ball and you put it in his face. So he fouled you on the play. Found out where you lay. You're not an easy target, so he opted to hit your bay. Aiming for the body, but they shot her in the face. Ain't no use crying, it's dying every day. Dying every day. COVID masses, open caskets. Oh yeah. Dodging germ with the prophylactics. Oh yeah. Heartburn, can't control the acid. Oh yeah. Puff, puff, you supposed to pass it. Now watch me dominate this. I shot a minute, I threw out that Navy fitted. Pistol in the river, if they want it, they could get it. See no evil, but I hear it. You won't get the drift until you feel it in your spirit. Choppers is chopping, looters is looting, losers is losing. Computers pewing, you gonna do it, then do it. Let me see something. They went from crack dealers to robbing tree pumpers. Cause most of the dealers, they don't see these numbers. It's wild where I stay. Bullets get to flying and police is giving chase. Jack Boy starving, got no time to say a grace. That's cause you had the ball and you put it in his face. So he fouled you on the play. Found out where you lay. You're not an easy target, so he opted to hit your bay. Aiming for the body, but they shot her in the face. Ain't no use crying, it's dying every day. Bullets flying every day. Mothers cried every week. Crack babies having babies, catching fouls every day. Tag you out at the plate, 100 pounds in the safe. Almost at 100,000, I'm 1,000 away. Going hard in the paint, don't you pardon my frank. You get fouled, we get fouled. You get fouled in the face, it's a foul on the plate. Run the town in the state. I'm at 585, main down in my drink. Got the garlic parmesan wings down on my plate. Then I smoke up on some bomb weed, loud in the stink. Same thing I used to do, but now I'm all in your face. For these fuckers change the laws, I done caught me a case. Them is foul on the plate. It's wild where I stay. Bullets get to flying and police is giving chase. Jack Boy starving, got no time to say a grace. That's cause you had the ball and you put it in his face. So he fouled you on the play. Found out where you lay. You're not an easy target, so he opted to hit your bay. Aiming for the body, but they shot her in the face. Ain't no use crying, it's dying every day. Dying every day.